Gotcha. Greetings and salutations, fellow pilots. You are looking at the premium American fighter, the P-36C Hawk. This aircraft features one 7.62 millimeter machine gun, a 12.7 millimeter machine gun, and then two additional 7.62 millimeter machine guns. Let's see, is there any difference in damage here? 17 damage per second, 23 damage per second. So one of the 7.62 millimeter machine guns does a little bit more damage than the other. So the P-36C Hawk is said to have high airspeed and a good boost. To maintain that high airspeed, I have equipped as an upgrade Engine Tuning 2, which increases engine power by 5%. That helps us maintain that high airspeed in our turns, climbs, and maneuvering activities. The P-36C Hawk is indicated as having good maneuverability in horizontal turns, so there's definitely some improvement there, as it is not high maneuverability or very high maneuverability. Therefore, I have equipped Lightweight Airframe 2, which increases maneuverability in all axes, not just horizontal turns, by 3%, and Control Surface Adjustment 2, which increases maneuverability in turns by 3%. For pilot skills, I have selected Engine Guru 1 and Engine Guru 2, which collectively increase engine thrust by 5% and the aircraft's top speed by 2%. I've also gone with Aerodynamics Expert, which increases the effects of all three of our upgrades by 40%. As you may have heard in previous videos, I think it's critically important that you choose pilot skills that have good synergy with your upgrades and your consumables. I've also gone with Aerobatics Expert, which increases maneuverability in all axes by an additional 2%. So the goal of these pilot skills, as coupled with our upgrades, is to augment the aircraft's high airspeed and its good maneuverability. So we are building on the strengths of the aircraft. For ammunition, I have selected Universal. For our 7.62, which does 17 damage per second, the Universal ammunition has a high chance of fire and a medium to low chance of critical damage. For our 12.7 millimeter machine gun, it also has high chance of fire and a medium to low chance of critical damage. Same for our 23 damage per second 7.62 millimeter machine gun. For consumables, I have selected first aid kit, which brings our pilot back to health when injured. Automatic engine restarter, which repairs our damaged engine if that should happen. And control surface auto trim, which restores controllability to wings and tail. All three of those consumables are gold consumables and therefore activate automatically and have 60-second cooldowns. Their non-gold versions have 90-second cooldowns and activate manually. In terms of the P-36C's specifications, its optimum altitude is 1,500 meters, which is good for fighters of this tier. Its optimum airspeed is 348 kilometers per hour. Top speed at best altitude is 510 kilometers per hour. Average time to turn 360 degrees is 11 seconds. That could be a little bit better. I think 10 seconds, 9 to 10 seconds for a fighter of this sort would be a better stat, but it is what it is. Stall speed is 140 kilometers per hour. This aircraft does tend to stall, I have found. In terms of paint schemes, this is summer, winter, desert, and marine. So pretty nice paint schemes, I would say. Many of the American aircraft kind of suffer in the looks department. So these paint schemes are a welcome sight. Now the P-36C has a tech tree version, which is the P-36, and we will talk about that in a moment. And later on in the video, I will feature combat with the tech tree version so that you can kind of see the differences. The build on both aircraft is the same. So what we are going to do now is take a look at my aircraft comparison chart that I've developed, and we are going to compare the various different Tier 4 fighters to the P-36C Hawk. So let's do that now. Alright, so we are here using my aircraft comparisons chart, and I have lined up the various different Tier 4 fighters, and we will be looking at armaments, gun armaments. And when we talk about gun armaments, we are discussing the total collective damage all the gun armaments on an aircraft can do. Next, we will look at time to turn 360 degrees, then hit points, airspeed, and we're talking about top airspeed at best altitude, and finally altitude. So looking first at gun armaments, what we see is that the P-36C Hawk is kind of low on the totem pole, so to speak, when it comes to gun armaments. The one aircraft that stands out the most is the Bristol Type 146, which does 200 damage per second. Now certainly there are some aircraft that have lower damage per second than the P-36C Hawk, including the 81A1 and the Seversky 2PA, also the Chi 43 LC, all of those aircraft do less damage than the P-36C Hawk. Interesting, the P-36 Hawk, the tech tree version of the P-36C Hawk, does significantly more damage per second than the P-36C at 168 damage per second as compared to the P-36C Hawk's 101 damage per second. So we'll look at the other stats and see if there's any cause to determine that the P-36C Hawk has other significant advantages as compared to its tech tree version. But again, standing out in this stat is the Bristol Type 146 and then also the Polikarpov I-17 at 185 damage per second. Not too far behind it is the A6M1 at 182 damage per second. Now I did want to compare these aircraft looking at gun armaments and then the other stats next to gun armaments. If we compare gun armaments for these aircraft with altitude, one conclusion you can reach is that the higher damage per second aircraft tend to have lower altitude to go along with their higher damage output. So if you're looking for an aircraft that, let's say, is above 1,000 meters, but also does decent damage, your best bet would be the P-36 Hawk, the tech tree version of our aircraft that we're featuring, the C-714, the French fighter, at 1,200 meters of altitude and 120 damage per second, the HE-112 at 1,200 meters altitude and 172 damage per second, and finally the BF-109B, which has the highest altitude at 1,700 meters with 119 damage per second. So if you were looking, for example, just at damage per second and altitude, you would want to go with the BF-109B versus the P-36C because it beats out the P-36C in both stats. However, if you compare it to the P-36 Hawk, you would, in my opinion, want to go with the P-36 Hawk because the P-36 Hawk significantly outdamages the BF-109B, 168 damage per second versus 119 damage per second, and in return it suffers by only 200 meters of altitude as compared to the BF-109B, which is a fair trade-off. Next, if we compare damage output to airspeed, which airspeed being a survivability issue for an aircraft, the aircraft that stand out in that regard are the P-36 Hawk and the XF-4F-3, which do best when you look at those aircraft combining their damage output and their airspeed. If we combine collective damage output with hit points, we see that the XF-4F-3 comes out on top in that category. 240 in hit points combined with 140 damage per second. But again, the P-36 Hawk is not too bad in that category at 180 hit points and 168 damage per second. Next, we combine collective damage output with time to turn 360 degrees. If you look at that combination, you see that the Bristol Type 146 has the best combination with 200 damage per second coupled with an 8-second turning time. Again, the P-36 Hawk, though, not very good with that combination as compared to some of its peers. The same could be said for the P-36 Hawk, the tech tree version of our aircraft that we are featuring. Both its collective damage output and its turning rate are beat out by the Bristol Type 146. If we compare the P-36C Hawk, the premium aircraft, to the P-36 Hawk, its tech tree peer, what we see is there is really no reason to choose the P-36C Hawk over its tech tree P-36. Airspeed for both aircraft is the same, altitude is the same, hit points the same. However, the tech tree P-36 Hawk beats out the P-36C Hawk premium aircraft in both time to turn 360 degrees by 1 second and in gun armaments by 67 damage per second. So if you're wondering, do I get the tech tree version or should I purchase the premium P-36C Hawk, it would seem to be a clear choice to choose the tech tree P-36 Hawk. Alright, so I hope that helps you put the P-36C Hawk in perspective with its other Tier 4 fighter peers and with its tech tree version. So, having gone over my build for this aircraft, its specifications, and having compared it to its Tier 4 fighter peers, what we'll do now is head into a battle and let you see how it actually performs. Then after that, we will take the P-36 tech tree version of this aircraft into battle so that you can see the differences if there are any. Okay folks, so we are here on Scorching Sands Desert Wind Theater of Operation, flying the 36C. Boy, I love the sound of those guns. Really nice. And I'm aiming here for the rear gunner as much as possible. Alright, so far so good. Looks like we've got a ground attack aircraft here. Well, we had a ground attack aircraft. Uh-oh. I think we need to get out of Dodge if we can. Gotcha. We are almost dead. See if we can knock one out before we light the farm here. What's this up here? Multi-roll? Japanese fighter, maybe? Got him off our friendly's tail there. Alright, so let's head over here to the military base.
Supremacy achieved.
Crowded skies up here. Holy cow, again? Holy cow. Can't believe I'm still alive, honestly.
Keep it up. Victory is almost ours.
I should not be alive, but I'll take it. See if we can get this fighter here.
I'm proud of you, pilots. Head back home.
Okay, that was exciting, folks. Alright, flames in the sky. Flying start, #1 spot on the team, 2 chevrons on the grade result. Let's head back and check out the after action report and see how we did overall. Man, that was, that was really exciting action there. Okay, so 9 kills, 3 assists, 2 sectors captured, 170,000 plus in currency, over 10,000 in XP, that's really nice, 503 in free XP, over 7,600 in combat points. So yeah, an excellent result there for the P-36C. Fun little aircraft to fly. Alright, so here we are in the tech tree version of the P-36, and we have gotten the Arctic region alarming news theater of operation.
Attention! You are entering the zone controlled by the enemy.
And this is a night fight, which I always enjoy those. Should be interesting.
You are approaching the front line. Off we go.
We'll head over here to the command center because that's certainly be the best sector to capture. wants to come out to play. Deal with these higher altitude aircraft first. What the heck shot me up so much? Maybe it was this enemy aircraft here, which I can't seem to find. There it is. DO-17Z. Bomber, looks like. We're losing altitude here. Alright, let's just go down to deal with this fighter. We're not going to get up to that bomber. Alright, moving on. Some action over here that we'll head towards. We have 110B up here. Not heading towards us though. Actually, yeah, it is. Very nimble Japanese fighter here. You know what? We should just climb.
Air supremacy achieved.
Hopefully it will. I was hoping maybe it might stall out. We could outclimb it, but no such luck. Wow, the enemy team hasn't done anything. Except shoot me down, of course. Alright, let's see here. Ground attack aircraft. 2 of them. Distance here. Oh, slow down. There we go. Whew. Okay. Looks like they took the sector from us, unfortunately, before we could finish them off. But I think we'll hopefully be able to get it back.
Victory is in sight. Keep it up.
Well, those machine guns chew on things pretty well, don't they? Alright, so let's see what else is going on around here. I'm guessing we're probably gonna prevail here before we get to do too much more. this heavy fighter here.
Be advised, a line of thunderstorms is approaching. We'll soon be unable to provide support. Do you copy? Over.
What is chewing on us here? Something. Japanese fighter, which is certainly going to outmaneuver us.
Great job today. We'll be waiting for you back home.
Okay, so number 1 spot on the team, 2 chevrons on the grade result, hat trick, and flying start. Let's head back to the hangar and take a look at the after action report, see how we did overall. Okay, so 12 kills, 2 sectors captured, $128,000 plus in currency, over 13,000 in XP, 669 in free XP. So it did pretty good there. Over 8,800 in combat points, and of course we secured the victory. So a good result there for the team and the P-36, the tech tree version of our P-36C. Okay, so you have seen the P-36C and now its tech tree version, the P-36. I hope you've really enjoyed this video, and if you get to fly either of these aircraft, I hope you have great success.